London World have just stated that Mathys Tel could go out on loan until the end of the season as Spurs feel he still has a lot of developing to do. Galatasaray are interested. Tottenham have just had a bid turned down for a 19-year-old Brazilian left-back, according to reports in Brazil. Reports are stating that Savinho is still a top target for Tottenham and Spurs may try to sign the Manchester City star on loan until the end of the season. Thomas Frank has come out and said he is not happy being the Spurs manager right now, and Tottenham could actually end the January transfer window with no signings. He said that board members, though, are working day and night to try and sign top players. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Let's start by talking about Thomas Frank in his embargoed press conference ahead of the Sunderland game, which of course takes place on Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 3 p.m. kickoff. Frank was asked, are you enjoying being Spurs manager? He said the short answer is no. Now, Tottenham head coach Thomas Frank has stated he is not currently enjoying time at Spurs. He says the hard work will be worth it, though, comparing his job to a marathon. He then went on to say, I knew this job would be a big challenge. Of course, when I walked in the door, I didn't expect Dominic Solanke and James Maddison to be out for 7 months or Kulusevski not to be ready. He then went on to say, I knew it would be a big challenge, that it would be a transitional season. We are building something and I'm convinced that it will be very good in the future. I know there are things to improve and I am very aware of what they are. Talking about the January transfer window, Thomas Frank insists that the club and him will not sign players for the sake of it in the January transfer window, and Spurs could end up with no signings. He said, we're in the market and we will do everything we can to improve the squad. If we can do something and it will really improve us, then we will go very hard on that. If it's not possible to add the right player for the short, medium or long term, are you strong enough to say, okay, we stick with what we've got? We have lists of players and we have priority numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in every position. Is number 6 good enough for us to get where we want to be in the future? Probably not. It is a fine balance. Thomas Frank then said, sometimes you need to take some steps forward before we can get the perfect solution. So every decision we make needs to be for the long-term success, but aware of how impactful it can be for now as well. So that could end up with no signings, but of course we hope that we do have some. I know Johan Langer, Fabio Paratici and Vino Venkatesham are working day and night to do everything together. They are doing everything with the recruitment team. The family is backing us with everything. So the best clubs take good, sensible decisions. Thomas Frank was asked about Fabio Paratici and his future, given the links to Fiorentina. He said Fabio is working for Tottenham right now. He is the sporting director. I spoke to him twice yesterday. He is working very hard for Tottenham. I just know when I speak to Fabio, who I spoke to yesterday twice, and Johan, who I spoke to this morning, the two of them are working very, very hard. Caught Offside have just reported that Tottenham Hotspur are increasingly confident that they have a realistic chance of signing Manchester City star Savinho this month. Spurs are prepared to back Thomas Frank with new signings during the January transfer window and have identified Savinho as a priority target. Savinho's limited involvement under Pep Guardiola this season could see Tottenham try to sign the forward again in January, potentially on an initial loan. The Guardian on the story about Savinho, they have stated that Tottenham are expected to bring in a Brennan Johnson replacement in the January window, with Manchester City star Savinho and Jan Diomande of RB Leipzig believed to be among their top targets. Now, what a day for Tottenham Hotspur star Mikey Moore. Now, he made his mark in one of world football's biggest matches, scoring for Rangers in the Old Firm derby against Celtic in Glasgow. The academy graduate, still only 18 on loan at Ibrox this season, struck Rangers' third goal to complete an incredible turnaround in a typically all-action Scottish Premier League encounter at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Rangers 3. Now, Sport Witness have just stated that Tottenham have made a concrete move for Santos left-back Souza, who has been a target for Chelsea and AC Milan this season. He appears to be in high demand this winter. The 19-year-old Brazilian has made 38 appearances for Santos since his debut in 2024, and they have made a clear demand of €17 million, the equivalent of just under £15 million for the young star. Brazilian journalist Lucas Massetti reports that Spurs submitted an official proposal in recent days but saw their offer rejected, believed to be well below the strict valuation Santos hold of the player. Spurs youngster Jamie Donley has just joined Oxford United on loan until the end of the season. He's come out and said, "This is a fantastic opportunity for me and one I'm determined to make the most of. I want to influence games and be decisive in the final third, but that all starts with hard work. I take real pride in working for the team and doing the basics right." Donley then went on to say, "My loan experiences have taught me a lot. I've had big highs and challenging moments, so these moments are what shape you as a player. I feel ready to come here to compete and to show what I can bring. First and foremost, I'm here to fight for the badge. When I get on the ball, I want to be positive, take responsibility and create moments that help the team win games." Various reports in Italy, including from Viola News, are stating that Fiorentina are continuing their search for defensive reinforcements, with Tottenham's Radu Drăgușin remaining a top priority for the Italian club. The club is closely monitoring the Romanian international situation at Spurs as they look to address their recent defensive issues. Now, Team Talk are stating that Leeds United actually turned down the chance to re-sign Manor Solomon, with the Whites ready to go all out for a new priority signing instead. The 48-cap Israel winger was a smash during last season, during a loan spell at Elland Road, scoring 10 times and adding 13 assists during 41 appearances for Leeds as they stormed to promotion with a 100-point tally. This report then goes on to say that Solomon was expected to rejoin Leeds United on a permanent deal in the summer, but the player did not want to commit. He wanted to try and catch the eye of Tottenham Hotspur boss Thomas Frank. That didn't happen, and then Solomon instead signed for Villarreal on a season-long loan. But after just 11 appearances for the Yellow Submarines, Solomon is now on the move again, this time agreeing to a move to Fiorentina, who have just taken up a similar loan arrangement with Spurs. Leeds were approached about a possible deal to re-sign the 26-year-old ahead of the January transfer window. Now, a report has just been published by London World, and they are stating that Tottenham are now said to be interested in offering another player an exit route after Brennan Johnson. Tottenham is said to be considering loaning out one of their first-team stars as Thomas Frank continues to shape his squad in the January transfer window. Thomas Frank decided to axe Brennan Johnson within days of the window opening, with Tottenham striking a deal worth £35 million with Crystal Palace. Now, Mathys Tel has struggled for game time under Thomas Frank this season and was even left out of the Champions League squad early on in the season. Tel has made 15 appearances across all competitions, but has only started 3 Premier League games. London World then go on to say that Spurs are now listening to loan offers for Mathys Tel for the second half of this season. The winger was signed for more than £30 million from Bayern Munich at the end of the loan deal last season, but at 20 years old, it seems that Spurs feel the player still has a lot of developing to do, and he needs regular football to do that. Galatasaray could be an option for Mathys Tel. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode, and I'm going to keep this very short and brief. Thomas Frank not enjoying life at Tottenham right now. I don't think that many people are enjoying Tottenham right now, including the paying fans, going to the home games, away games, etc. Things need to improve. Thomas Frank has said this many, many times, that things need to improve. We all know that things need to improve. He has said it is a transitional period. He has also said, and I do agree with him, about targets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If you can't get targets 1 or 2 or indeed 3, why would you want to go for 4, 5 and 6? We need top quality players in at this football club to be fighting on all fronts and to be moving up that Premier League table and, fighting for top honours. We need top players in. We do need to change our wage structure. I do feel that some players may need to be convinced to come to the football club at this stage. But as Thomas Frank said, the board members at the moment are working day and night and they're working very hard. We still don't know whether Fabio Paratici is actually going out the door or when he's going out the door. So, watch this space. Thomas Frank also spoke out in the embargoed press conference ahead of the Sunderland game on Sunday, saying that, there has never, ever been so many changes with the big executives at the football club in our whole history since 1882. 2025 was a big, big change in so many ways. And I've spoken about this as well in the last 12 months. How many times, do we do these episodes and talk about changes at the top, talk about changes in the dugout, talk about changes on the pitch, and talk about a lot of changes throughout the club. But, Spurs need to move very quickly in the positive directions and get the decisions right, because so many decisions in recent years have probably caused some of our problems that we have got now. But with that said, these board members need to work very, very hard during this January window, and let's hope that we can bring in at least a couple of reinforcements, quality stars for Thomas Frank to work with, from January until the end of the season. In an ideal world, you bring him in on the 1st of January, like Crystal Palace have done with Brennan Johnson. Now, reports are stating that Savinho remains a top target. Spurs hope to get him in on loan. I tell you what, that is one area where we really, really do need to improve on that left-hand side. The fact that we let someone like Heung-min Son go out the door and then, didn't replace Son on that left-hand side. These things need to be looked at, very, very quickly, as soon as possible, and, bring in a top player. Now, apparently Tottenham have just had a bid turned down for a 19-year-old Brazilian left-back. As Thomas Frank said, I'm sure that the club want to do things at the same time. They want to, of course, bring in players for the future. They also want to bring in impact players that are going to make a real difference now. I do get that there is a mixture. However, in the last couple of years, I feel like we've brought in a lot of players for the future. And I feel like this window, and especially in the summer window, it should be about bringing in, experienced players that have been there, done it, and got the t-shirt, and bring in the impact players that we need right now. Spurs are apparently open to letting Mathys Tel go out on loan. I tell you what, I'm going to say this again about the Brennan Johnson scenario. If you're letting players go out the door, then surely you've got to have a plan, and surely you've got to have a couple of aces up your sleeve, and surely Spurs, you would think, would be close on a couple of deals to be even thinking this way, because I think we're going to be very light. Or indeed, they know that Solanke, Kulusevski, and Maddison, I expect at the end of the season, but they may feel like Kulusevski and Solanke could be back very, very soon. So watch this space. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great weekend. Keep smiling, stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.